Hello, I'm Raquel Durden, U.S. Army veteran and chairwoman of Humble Warrior Wellness and Yoga, and I'm here today with Pam, first responder, retired nurse. We want to introduce object meditation. So there's many forms of meditation, but object meditation is really nice for a beginner or an experienced practitioner, but is really nice for an introduction to a beginner meditator. Meditation is a mindfulness practice. It's a technique that helps focus the mind, creates awareness on the present moment. You might notice sensations that are just temporary, but without judgment. That's a lot to take in. What is that? It's basically trying to sit still. Maybe you're looking for tranquility, but you're met with a chattering mind. I always say it's like my mind is like 6 lanes of highway and I want to get it down to a 4 lane, a 2 lane, maybe a nature trail. It doesn't always happen, maybe it does. So it's a way of making that mind, body, breath connection. What can help us to sit calm is, first of all, to find a comfortable seat. So the basics of meditation, step 1, decide on your posture. Pam decided on a seated position, but we want her to be super comfortable. So she's sitting on a low pillow, which elevates her hips. Maybe you don't have a lot of range of motion in your knees, or maybe your knees are kind of achy. She's a retired nurse. She's probably got all that going on. So we have support blocks underneath, so her knees aren't just floating. She's in comfortable clothes. She took her hairband out. She is relaxed. A lot of people do meditation first thing in the day or in the evening. You can do it wherever you have time or wherever it just feels the most natural. So she's in a comfortable seated position. But there are many other postures. You could be sitting in a chair. If you're in a chair, I like a nice sturdy chair where your knees can be kind of at a right angle so your feet aren't floating. If your feet are floating, maybe you put your feet on the yoga blocks, bring the floor to your feet. Sit in a chair that gives you some support on your back. If that doesn't work, you could also lie down in a comfortable posture, shavasana or corpse pose posture. That might even be too much. Some people have a hard time just being still, and that's okay. So perhaps you decide to take a nice slow stroll or walk, perhaps a nature walk. Maybe start small with your backyard or neighborhood. So for today, we're in a comfortable supported chair. Do you feel pretty comfortable?
I do.
Anything you can do to make yourself just a little more comfortable? Maybe wiggle in. Okay.
All set.
The next is you want to do it for a specific amount of time. Some people like to use a timer. If you have a smartphone, you could put it on 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Start small and then grow into being more comfortable sitting that still. But your alarm, when it goes off, have something like a chime and maybe not to kind of startle you or wake you up. If you don't want to use a timer or your phone, perhaps you're on that walk. You'll just do it for a distance. I'm going to walk from here to the end of the block very mindfully, very slow, very intentional, and back. So it could be a distance or a space. Then I want you to choose a focus because this is object meditation. So we've lit a beautiful candle and Pam can gaze at it. We have it far enough in front of her so her chin doesn't drop and cut off her air supply. It's just in her vision. So you don't have to glare at it. It's just a gaze. She's gazing at it. Gives her something to focus the mind, focus the sight on. You might pick a beautiful plant. You might pick a candle. I recommend that you pick something that's not moving. So she's in that comfortable posture. We've got a time, and she's chose a candle as her object to meditate on. And then we just begin. So you want to give yourself a little grace as you begin because the mind is going to wander. The only time it doesn't is when we've left this earth. But you want to draw it back to the object, draw it back to the breath. You also want to give yourself some grace. If it becomes uncomfortable, make some micro movements and regain that comfort. When you have a focus, you may want to add on an intention or cultivate a feeling or a word, like perhaps you're thinking kindness openness. I'm trying something new. I'm open to trying this. So I'm going to guide her through, but this is all something you can do for yourself. So it's as if I was Pam doing this for myself, but I'm just going to guide her today in a comfortable seated position. Find some length in your spine. Soften the face, relax the mouth and jaw. Rest the hands. Feel supported. Identify your object for meditation and just lower your gaze, soften your gaze upon it. You have awareness of this moment. You might be noticing sensations in the body as you're in a seated position. Your senses may be activated. You may smell the fragrance of the candle, the coolness of the air. You may notice the texture of your clothing. There might be a lingering taste of coffee or tea in your mouth. You might hear a hum of the heater or air conditioning or some children playing in the back. These sensations that you're noticing are just temporary. And as you gaze at the candle, just notice your breath. Maybe you examine your breath using the 5 qualities of the breath. Is your breath deep? Is your breath smooth? Is your breath equal? Is the inhale equal to the exhale? Pam will take a moment and just examine it. Maybe on the inhale she counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Her exhale's a little deeper, maybe because she's relaxed, safe, grounded, supported. Is her breath continuous? She's not holding the inhale or exhale. Is it generally quiet? As she gazes at the candle, on the inhale she feels her belly expand, the side belly. As she exhales, she sits a little firmer in her seat. Maybe she feels the blocks under her knees, her sits bones in the pad. On the inhale, she may feel like she's growing a little taller, longer in the spine. Exhale, she sits comfortably. Pam just notices her breath. On the inhale, she's aware she's inhaling. On the exhale, she's aware she's exhaling. Now we'll sit here for a few moments in silence while Pam meditates on with the object, and you do so in the comfort of your home. Let thoughts come and go. Turning inward, noticing the breath. If at any point during the meditation you feel discomfort, again, make some micro movements and try and find a firm, comfortable, supported posture, whatever that looks like. Using this time to just rest and reset, rest and refresh. She knows she's right where she needs to be. She knows she's doing the work that's hers to do. She's taking a moment for herself just to dial down, turn inward, be still. And sitting still can be hard work. So when we're ready to come out of it, she can just flutter her eyes open, and then perhaps inhale her arms all the way up. Bring her palms together, which unite the left and right hemisphere of the brain. Exhale, bring it down to heart center. If she had an intention or a mantra, she might just repeat it, tuck it in her heart, and release and let go. So again, meditation can be 1 to 3 breaths, 1 to 3 minutes. You can work up to it. It is a practice. The more you do it, the better at it you get. The quicker maybe you go from that 6 lane of highway down to a nature path. I will share that in my research, most of the successful people in all the top industries, whether it's a CEO at a business or an actor or a business person, an athlete, all these different professions, the one thing they have in common in an interview was they all practice some form of meditation. Meditation could be object meditation, it could be a walking meditation, it could be deep prayer, silence, anything that just cultivates that feeling of tranquility using stillness. And even after I've been practicing since about 2007, I met with a chattering mind. But usually when I rate my chattering mind before practice and after, it goes down. It might not go down to that peaceful path, but I sure am glad I took a few moments to invite stillness into my mind, body, and breath. So we hope you give meditation a try. This is object meditation, a wonderful place for beginners. Remember the 4 meditation steps. Decide on a posture, use a timer, choose your focus, and just begin. And remember to always give yourself a little bit of grace. Thanks for joining us.